Are you living in a sexless marriage where, forget about having sex, your wife is also not allowing you to touch her? Probably you haven't had sex for a long time, or even if you're having sex, it is a sex without any emotions. It is just an activity. If this is you, then continue to watch this video. Hi, my name is Valerian Sequeira, and I help men to create the marriage they want to live in. Bring back loads of love and laughter, hugs and kisses they once had. So, in this video, I have divided this video into two parts. The first part, I'm going to talk about the reasons why you are living in a sexless marriage, why there is no sex in your relationship. The second thing, I'm going to talk about what can you do. And this whole perspective is from the perspective of a man. Before I talk about these things, there's a quick disclaimer. The disclaimer is this. This video is not for everyone. If you are somebody who doesn't want to look at the situation from a different angle, from your wife's perspective, and you don't want to grow and you want to continue to blame and criticize, then this video is not for you. But if you are somebody who really wants to learn, who really wants to understand what is happening in your relationship so that you will have more hugs, kisses, and of course physical intimacy, then continue to watch this video. So let's talk about the why. Why are you not having physical intimacy in your relationship? The of course the first reason is could be the physical reason. That means she is having pain during the sexual activity. It could be that the libido is low. It could be that she had some past experiences, unpleasant experiences. It could be all of these things, and you can go to a doctor, you can go to a sexologist, and you can sort out things. But before you do this, you got to look into the emotional reasons. Many a times, if you had a great sexual intimacy at the beginning of the relationship and now you're not having it, it could be because of the age, but there could be a different reason as well. And that different reason and a deeper reason is could be it is emotional reason. So let me talk about what this emotional reason, because of which your wife is staying away from you physically. So the emotional reasons, the first one is the interaction that is happening between you and your wife can be divided into two. The first one is called negative interaction. The second one is called positive interactions. And the amount of negative interactions in your relationship right now are much more than the positive interactions compared to the time you were having great physical intimacy. So what are negative and positive interactions? So uh, an interaction is any kind of communication that happens through words, tone, or body language. All right. Now, through any interaction, if your wife gets a feeling that you are criticizing her, you are communicating that you are wrong, bad, or a horrible human being, that is called as a negative interaction. And any interaction where you are communicating to your wife and your wife feels through your communication, it could be the word that you use, it could be the way you talk, it could be your body language, your wife feels that she is good, right, and a wonderful human being. When she feels these three things is a positive interaction. Now in your case, probably the appreciation, gratitude, which are positive interactions, apology request, all these things are positive interactions, have gone down, and the negative interactions of criticism and defensiveness, fights and arguments have come up. And because of this, your wife is not feeling emotionally safe in your presence. She feels that there will be a missile will come from some place and then she will be shot down. And so she is not feeling emotionally safe. And because she is not feeling emotionally safe, when you are in the bedroom, when you don't feel safe, you don't feel the urge to have physical intimacy with a person. You don't feel emotionally safe. So the first reason could be that there is no emotional safety in your relationship because the level of negative interaction in your relationship has gone up compared to the positive interaction. The second reason why your wife is not having physical intimacy with you and staying away from you even when you make that initiative is because of these three reasons. The first reason is she is feeling that she doesn't matter to you. And how is she feeling that? She's feeling from your behavior. Like she says to you that I need to go out somewhere for something. Will you come with me? And you say, no, I have a meeting. You go for business trips and you don't even consult her, consider her. Your job is more important. Your job is a priority to you compared to her. Now, in all these things, she is feeling that she doesn't matter to you. And when she feels that she doesn't matter to you, she says to herself, why should I do something that matters to my husband? Is that making sense to you? Is that a bulb on moment? If that is, then in the comments, write bulb on in the comments. So when you are not making her a priority, her needs a priority, she says to herself, why should I make his needs my priority? I don't care. For a woman, the uh, for a man, the libido is higher compared to a woman. So she says, I can live without sex for a longer period than my husband. So for me, I'm okay with it. So if he needs physical intimacy and he doesn't make my needs important, then why should I make his needs important? So the first reason out here is under feeling unloved is she doesn't matter. She feels that she doesn't matter. Look at the words that I'm using. She feels that she doesn't matter. It is not that you're making her feel that she doesn't matter. She feels that way because of your actions. The second thing is she feels that you are not there for her, and it is not the big things. One of the wives of our awesome husband shared something really small, and it was as small as you can just ignore it, but it matters. So what did she say? She said that earlier, my husband, I don't like getting up from the bed when I need something after I go to bed, and even if I feel thirsty, I'll not get up and drink water. And she said earlier, my husband wouldn't care if I wake him up for something, anything. Even if I'm sick, my husband wouldn't care. But now, when I ask him, when I say that I'm feeling thirsty, he suddenly gets up and he gets the water for me. And it's a tiny act, really tiny act. But that makes me feel that my husband is there for me. When I fall sick, I fell sick, and it was middle of the night and I was not able to breathe. And I told my husband, I'm not able to breathe. As soon as I said that, he was tired. He had come from traveling. But as soon as I said that, he said to me, what shall we do? Shall we go to the doctor? And I felt that he's there for me. So when my wife doesn't feel that I'm there for her in small things, when I need something, she's not there for me. As simple as that. We receive what we give. So the reason, let's come back to the reason. The reasons can be physical reason, and the second one is emotional reasons. Now, what you need to focus on, if you want to, even if there is a physical reason, what you need to focus on is to solve the emotional reason. Because when you solve the emotional reason, then your wife will be more willing to solve the physical reason by going to a doctor, going to a sexologist, or whatever that needs to be done. So this is the why. Now, what can you do? The first thing I already told you what you need to do, that is solve the emotional reasons. And how do you solve the emotional reasons? I've divided this, what can you do, into two categories. The first one is don't do. What are the three things you shouldn't do? The first thing you shouldn't do is force your wife, let's come here, force your wife to have sex. And you know that according to law, it is unethical, one. And the second thing is, according to law, forcing your wife to have sex with you or forcing yourself onto her is inside the marriage is also called as a rape. So the first thing you should not do is force yourself. And when you do that, when you push yourself against her willingness, you're telling her that she doesn't matter to you. Her body doesn't matter to you. Her wishes don't matter to you. Apart from being unethical, apart from the law, it is also you're communicating to her that she doesn't matter. And when she feels that way, she will feel more disgusted by you. Disgusted by you. So, not to force. The second thing not to do is convince. Use logic. For a man, Sex is can be purely physical. He can have sex with a stranger. But for a woman, it is not purely physical. It is lot to do with emotions. So when your wife is not feeling the emotions, you using logic will not have any effect on your wife. You telling your wife that you guys are married, and once you're married, you're supposed to have sex, and you use all the logic in the world by saying that, I did this for you, and we haven't had sex, and no logic in the world will work. So the second thing is not to use is your logic and try to convince her. And the third thing that you shouldn't use is ask for reasons. Ask for reasons. When you ask for reasons, you are it sounds very logical to ask for reasons so that you can find out what is the reason so that you can solve. But asking for reason will give her an excuse. In other words, let's say you ask your wife, let's use this example. Let's say you ask your wife, why are you not having sex with me? What is the problem? And your wife says, I'm not having sex with you, I don't feel like. Now, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? You're going to say something that will be convincing. And when you try to convince her, she will try to say something else that will only push you guys away because you start having fights on this topic. And then eventually you'll be sleeping on two different beds. So never ask for reason, because asking for reason when there is no emotional connection. So there are two ways you can ask for reason. Let me explain this as well. I think that will also help you. One way is you share once you follow the other topics, the do's. Once you follow the do's, you can ask for reason in a different way. There are two ways you can ask for reason. The first way you can ask for reason is, why are you doing this? And when you ask a why, obviously there is an excuse, and that will not help. The second way to ask a reason is, after you follow the remaining tips, the do's that I'm going to share with you, you can ask for a reason in a way that will be something like this. I understand that for some time we didn't have sex. Um, I You might be going through some challenges, and because of which you're pushing me away or you don't want to have sex. I would like to know what it is. If you would like to share with me, I would love to hear this. Now, when you hear me talking like this, it will feel that, God, who talks like this? Nobody does. Lot of men, 99.9% of the men don't talk like this, and that's why 99.9% of the men have miserable marriages. They might be together, but there is no physical or emotional intimacy that they would feel after years. Initially they might have, but after years they don't have it because they don't talk like this. So when you talk like this, she feels that she matters. You are there for her. You want to know, genuinely know. You're not there to convince her, and she will open up. And that way you can solve the problem. But otherwise, don't ask for reasons. So, what do you do? What you need to do, and before I talk about what you need to do, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel, because every week I put up a video that will be helpful to you as a man, in your marriage, in your relationship, in your sex life, and of course, that contributing to your career. So go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Click on that bell icon, because you get a reminder every time I put on a video. And also click on that like button if you have liked this video. Now let us come to the do's. What do you need to do? What you need to do is, let's look at this. I put it in simple words. Make your wife feel loved outside the bedroom. In simple words, what happens outside the bedroom defines what happens inside the bedroom. What happens inside the bedroom is the direct consequence of what's happening outside the bedroom. Direct consequence. So, what you need to do outside the bedroom so that you have great physical intimacy in the bedroom is this. You got to, let's come here. There are three things. The first one is become a hero. So what is the meaning of becoming a hero? There are two kinds of mindsets we men or women can have in a relationship. The first kind of mindset, I call it as a victim mindset. In a victim mindset, I look at the situation from my perspective. I look at my pain, my challenges, my struggles, and I don't look at the situation from my wife's perspective. And I try to solve the problem. And when I try to solve the problem, our wife is a reflection. She feels like a victim. And she also starts looking at the situation from her perspective and not from mine. Now, there is a second mindset that you can have called a hero mindset. Hero mindset is you understand and you look at the situation from your perspective. Also, you look at the situation from your wife's perspective. You go to the other side and try to understand what she is going through, what her challenges. So, the first thing to do is get onto a hero mindset. Start looking at the world from her perspective. Look at the world as a woman, somebody who goes through periods, somebody who has pain, somebody when there is not enough lubrication, um, her genital areas, the vagina is very, very sensitive and uh, very different from a man. So you look at her from that perspective. So this is hero mindset. The second thing is pay attention to the words that you use. So if you want to, so this is something very important. I spoke about feeling insecure. I spoke about your wife feeling that she doesn't matter. How does she feel that she doesn't matter? Is because of the words you use. So outside the bedroom, if there is no physical intimacy in your relationship, probably there is no appreciation in your relationship. So start appreciating your wife. Start making her feel like a queen. Look for things to appreciate. It could be her looks, and be genuine. Be genuine. It could be her looks. It could be her dress sense. It could be her qualities. It could be something that she has done in the during the day. Appreciate her for that. And the second thing to do is show gratitude. There is nothing called free lunch in the relationship. And when we think that there is something called free lunch and whatever our wife does is our duty, that is cooking and taking care of kids, because we are doing our duty, your marriage goes for a doom. So the second thing is show gratitude. The third thing is apology. Apology makes the relationship feel safe feel safe. And why do you apologize? Not because you're wrong. In relationships, 99.9% of the time, nobody's wrong. Everybody's right. Then why are you saying sorry? You're saying sorry because whatever you did hurt your wife. Let's say you came late because you had a meeting and you're not wrong for coming late. But because you came late, it hurt your wife. So you're saying sorry. Now, when you're saying sorry, follow it up with action. It means that if I'm going to say sorry to my wife for coming late because I had a meeting, the next time when I have a meeting, I got to find a way to make my wife know that I'll be late. And I got to make sure that these meetings are not my priority in my life. It is my marriage. It is my marriage. So, apology. The next one is request. There is no ordering in the relationship because there is nothing called free lunch. So, you are requesting. The last thing, and very important, is humor. Are you laughing? Are you cracking jokes? Is there a laughter? In a marriage which is sexless, generally there is no humor. When there was humor, you guys had romance. So these small things matter a lot. So words. Then we come to the next part, and that is behavior. Behavior. So when it comes to behavior, there are three things that I have noted down. The first thing is your habits. So what are habits? If you become part of a community, there is one module that we have called learning each other's personality type. So, what is a personality type? Basically, in simple words, personality type is a set of behaviors that we have grown up with. And these behaviors have strengths, there are strength and there are weakness. Like, for example, a simple behavior like perfectionism. So I want everything to be perfect. It is a strength because I keep the house clean, things are done on time, I get good results because I'm a perfectionist. On the other side, because I'm a perfectionist, I can also be criticizing, and that will bring down my relationship. So when you get into this community, you will learn this. And the way to get into this community of awesome husbands is by attending a free masterclass that I do. The link to this masterclass is in the description as well as in the chat box. So when you start understanding your wife's your personality type, you understand what behaviors of yours are hurting your wife. Though they look normal to you, they are hurting your wife. And when you change these behaviors, what happens to your wife is your wife also starts feeling loved. So the first one is breaking your habits. The second one is using every situation to make your wife feel that she matters. And it is the smallest things. Really small things, like small things as small as looking at your wife and giving her a smile, coming home on time, telling her beforehand that you will be late, when you are busy, letting her know that you will be busy and you will be available. Just sitting down and listening to her challenges, her struggles, not giving advice. Now, these are tiny things and they make her feel that she matters. The next thing is you are there for her. For many of us, if you are really honest with yourself, for us, our career comes first, our profession, our business comes first. Then come our children, then come our parents, and then our wife. And don't you think our wife feels that? And when our wife feels that, if she feels that she's a second class citizen, she's fourth in the priority, and your job is more important to you, in our mind, she says, go and have sex with your job, not with me. That's what happens. Go ahead and have sex with your job. And that comes from our anger and frustration. So find ways to be there for her. Put your appointments, put your meetings after your wife. And you might feel that what if I do that, my business will suffer. No, your business will never suffer. Because when your wife feels that you are there for her, she matters to you, and you are on her side, what is she going to do? She's your reflection. She's going to support you and your business and whatever is priority to you, including your parents. So the second thing to do, rather the third thing to do, is make your wife feel that you are there for her. And when she feels that you are there for her, she will be on your side, supporting you. And obviously, the romance will come back, that understanding will come back. And once again, you will be having that amazing physical intimacy that you once had. So that's all for this video. And I want you to go to the comment section now and write down two things. The first one is, what's that one thing that you have learned? And the second thing is, if there is any topic on which you want me to make the video. So now you can watch this next video called Conflict Between Your Wife and Mother. How do you handle it? The thumbnail is above there. Just click on that thumbnail and watch that video. Until we connect again, keep your love story alive. Bye bye.